Hi there, welcome back to the Olga Poker Podcast. And today I have an incredible guest, the pro who climbed the ladder from the lowest stakes to the highest. Our guest is someone I deeply admire, the true master of the game, Daniel Jungleman Cates. Hi Daniel, I'm really glad that you joined my podcast. It was not easy.
Anything is possible.
Yeah.
Use your mind and you persevere.
This should be very interesting. Before we start the podcast and my questions, is there anything people really need to know about you, and maybe some like kind of secret information? What you can tell about yourself, like main features, favorite food, favorite music, like what you do outside poker tables usually?
I do lots of shit outside poker tables. At the moment, I am a professional tourist in China. That's literally what's going on. And literally, like, I'm promoting AA poker, of course, but also my vacation in China, which, by the way, is quite similar culturally to Japan. So people don't know about it. It's being funded so that I can be as much of a tourist as possible and dress in costumes and be as American as possible. That is the current situation. As a matter of fact, and just do a bunch of fucking tourist things. Uh, Not even making this up. I'm just realizing that's how I describe myself. The other thing I want to mention about myself is a lot of people are full of shit and like are just kind of fake like all the fucking time. I'm like for real. I'm like real and raw and just and first of all, like to prove my point, and you already know this, but the audience doesn't know this. I'm taking this podcast in my bathroom for some reason. My phone, my laptop was on the bathroom floor, and it's fucking happening. And like, I don't take no shit. Let the world fucking know I don't take no bullshit. I'm out to shatter bullshit. Like bullshit already is pretty shatterable, but now it's like I'm the guy who's like, fuck this shit.
Okay. So maybe you tell us the reasons why you are there, or
Why? What?
why you are there in the bathroom.
Oh, well, see, that's because nice guys don't always finish last, as it turns out. And I happen to be quite the gentleman, you can say.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll let you guys fill in the blanks about what else is going on. But basically, I'm being quite the gentleman. Chivalry's not 100% dead.
Name three things you love in life very much, except poker, of course.
If I love them, can I also hate them? Is it possible? Can it be a love-hate relationship? Snacks is one of them, actually. Speaking of which, China has like a million fucking snacks no one's ever heard of. It's like an endless stream of snacks. Like I just like taking pictures of all of them all the time. So it doesn't. I can't tell if that might be a toxic relationship. I'm not sure. It's like a little bit toxic. Can music be part of it? Especially if like I'm playing it? Like why
Okay.
not? Why can't I have a creative side? Why have people not consider this? What else? What are some other things? Massages. Massages are definitely on the list. We know this. This is no secret.
You know, when I find out information about people, I like to ask them if they are a cat person or a dog person. What about you?
But really the situation. Well, I've been posting pictures. I mean, you should be able to answer this question. And actually, it's time for a little quiz for yourself. What is the answer to this question? Have you done your research at all?
No, I don't.
Oh my God, you haven't been watching my stories. I'm like offended.
I watch your stories. I was
You didn't
watching.
watch like all the fucking cat pictures they put up and
I'm sorry, I didn't watch them all. Okay, okay, I'm very very
I
sorry.
put, I put so many pictures of like the cat. There's like a million cat pictures they put up. Like it's so obvious I'm a cat person.
Let me tell you something about myself. I have a cat. I have a cat, but I'm a dog person. I just cannot have a dog because it's a big responsibility and I'm traveling. But there is no problem of having a cat. So,
Then you're maybe even a secret cat person because like you actually have a cat. Like your actions betray your words. Like if you don't want the responsibility of a dog, then maybe you're a cat person. Like see, that's part of the reason I'm a cat person. So I don't want the responsibility either. But yeah, I like dogs too. I posted a picture of a dog recently too, by the way. So think about that. Maybe you're in denial whether you're a cat person.
You know what they say? Like the person who has the dog, who owns the dog, wants to get the love, and who owns the cat wants to give the love.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I see that. But the idea is like kind of consistent, I would say, because that is what dogs do. They're very good at like giving love. But they're very cute too. So it's, maybe someone's just really into, how cute dogs look and that kind of thing too. And just think that they're really put off by like cat-like behavior. Also, like sometimes cats can be rude. What about a cute cat? They don't really like break this down. I never get into the cuteness and analytics, but I can help with that.
Yeah, the appearance of cats is like kind of tricky. They look nice, but they usually are not that nice.
Yeah, but you have to kind of like warm up to them. You have to kind of seduce them a little bit.
Okay, let's circle back to the costumes and poker for a moment. Do you think that poker is kind of form of entertainment or show?
Well, yeah, but it depends on what we're calling entertainment. We're gonna get real deep with this. I mean, theoretically, anything's just entertainment or can be entertainment. A lot of proactive things are entertainment or have an entertainment aspect. Say certain payoffs of sorts that, or just certain positive sides to them happening that, I mean, not always, I guess, but usually they have some kinds of positive sides happening. Definitely, poker's got that going on. It's got lots of like emotional swings and stuff. So yes, it's entertainment. And there might be a guy dressed in a costume doing goofy things. So that's definitely entertainment, at least for some people. That's my kind of entertainment. Like, um, maybe I'm just tired of people like doing a bunch of normal, boring shit. Now, when I go play poker, they all stare at each other and say nothing. And you sit around and wait for aces, and I'm just like, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm gonna be entertained.
Do you choose these costumes by your own or someone helps you?
The universe helps me.
Okay, okay, makes sense.
It's sometimes divine inspiration, and sometimes people are like, "Man, you gotta wear this costume, dude. You gotta wear this costume." They give me a costume, like, okay, fine, I'll wear it. If you really want me to wear it, fine. See, so the universe is in on it for sure.
Your outfits are usually always cool. For example, this shirt is great, though it's like your home costume because you're at home. Like,
The funny thing is, I'm not wearing a costume now. You
okay.
should ask yourself, are you wearing a costume? As the whole audience should ask themselves, are you wearing a mask? Are you wearing a fucking costume? That's what I have to say.
Okay, tell me how we can make, on your opinion, poker more popular, for example, like basketball game. Are there any chances for that?
It's actually a tough question. See, that's part of the reason why I dress up and do these things is it's a little bit of a social experiment for me, and it's a lot of things. It's also an attempt at doing that, by the way, because now all of a sudden some ridiculous things happening in an otherwise very boring situation. The boring situation being a bunch of dudes just like in a circle, getting grumpy and trying to beat each other up or stare at each other. The only way to appeal to a demographic that's not inherently interested in what poker intrinsically offers is by becoming more emotionally palatable by doing things like dressing up in costumes and being goofy or creating funny situations to create humor. I don't see how the other would be possible or sustainable over the long term. That being said, I'm apparently not as good at appealing to the lowest common denominators for people as I thought. So I am not exactly the expert on that subject. As I created content, I realized that my approach for things is, I don't know, needs to like be more market targeted, if that makes sense. And the market often is not in line with things like what's truly good for them. Let's put it that way. Or all forms of things that I think are interesting. So That's been an interesting realization. That being said, I'm sure there's a market for like looking and watching some goofy guy do goofy ass things. So that market is the market of seeing people doing goofy shit is out there. I know it's out there because the goofy market's like it just exists. We know this. People come up to me and said things. So there's all that.
Can you name some players who are making goofy things and whom you like?
Phil Locke is one. Uh, Phil Locke definitely qualifies. If he's ever there, he doesn't really care. That's the biggest problem, actually. People in poker don't really care. They're actually quite selfish. They like want, oh, give me more, give me more, give me more. Oh no, I'm not having profit cramps. Oh, when, I'm gonna cry on the internet. They go, oh, the payouts are fucked up. I'm not gonna do anything about it. Like, or like there's like cheating going on. Like, when, there's so much cheating going on. When, but I don't want to do anything. Oh no, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to change anything. Um, or like fucking crying all the time. And then some guy like Jungleman comes along and is like, well, guys, if you don't want people to cheat, you should fucking like stop enabling them and making them cheat, not doing a fucking thing when you get cheated. Retaliation is part of the natural defense against. It's in GTO actually of actually the most optimal strategy for uh, what's the word? Human behavior. It's like you can see it plainly, and it makes sense because you can't let people fuck with you all the time. But you have to be entertaining in the sense of like doing ridiculous things. Phil Hellmuth does some things. He tries at least. Phil actually tries in a number of ways. Um, let's see. Dado Negreanu does sometimes, actually. He does some goofy things. I think he's a bit more charming. Um, who else? Yeah, most of these guys are boring as fuck. Like, what is like, yeah, they don't really think to themselves, why would someone want to watch me? Other than being good at poker, but like you can only recognize that firstly if you're an internet nerd and really into poker nerd, and really into poker. And secondly, you have to somehow decide that this person is like quite a bit better so that you like this person a lot. I don't really understand how that dynamic works so much, but it's a little bit more of a long shot if you see it from the other person's perspective. Because if a lot of these guys are basically similar, they're all studying GTO or whatever, then why would anyone be drawn to one person or another? Or what are these like powerful emotional levers?
What about Martin Cabral?
He's not thinking about that at all, I don't think. Yeah, he's like kind of going in the opposite direction. I would
Really?
think she's in this school of thought, which is flawed in my opinion. There's a couple people like this who have this idea, I don't know, maybe it's changed, but have this idea that you can be annoying and gain an edge in the game this way. And they think that, okay, there's nothing wrong with this. Well, by the definition of what we consider unethical, et cetera, I can prove that wrong, by the way. But it's up for people to see it. The point being that when you use strategies that are against the spirit of the game, such as it's actually, in my view, unethical to be against the spirit of the game if we're talking about the optimal way of doing things. But when you use such strategies, it inevitably leaks into the real world and inevitably causes people to react badly. And he doesn't look at things like this, other people don't really look at things like this, but the reality is it is like this. Because we're doing things to like gain an edge that implies that you're using social strategies that are one that have like excess selfishness. So yeah, so I don't really consider Martin. In summary, I don't consider what Martin does like trying to do something positive. If you see what I'm saying. I mean, like other people do it, but they do it not from the place of thinking to themselves, oh, I'm going to do it to make poker more entertaining. They just do it because, I mean, sometimes they do it without much deep thought into it, but they do it for this idea of like, and roughly what they're doing is basically doing charming things to that would be good for any social situation. So that kind of qualifies, even though like the logic between those two actions is the logic between those two causes is not really there.
I think my personal opinion is that poker overall like lacks um, nice personalities, and if we have someone who is not boring, who is interesting, that's fine, because like it's boring to watch poker because nothing is happening there, and like for people outside poker, like it will not be entertaining.
Yeah, that's basically why that's basically you're saying the same thing I'm saying. You agree with me. Really, the thing is that people like at the core of it, there's a couple things going on. One, people are apathetic and don't really care. I don't know how to fix that. That's a tough thing to fix. How the fuck do you get people to care? First, to do that, you have to see it's in their interest, their visceral, their like, it's their interest incentives to actually fix things. Um, you can do that with the hard way or the easy way, but a lot of the things like, okay, well, you can figure out a way to solve your fucking problems. And two is that yeah, at the core, it's for a big part is apathy. And two, once apathy is removed, it's okay, it's a bit of a challenge to do things that are going to be entertaining or interesting for people that don't know anything about poker or aren't going to naturally be drawn to it because of the competitiveness and that sort of thing. A bit of a related problem is the fact that, and this is where we get more into the nature of poker. There's a lot of like slow things that happen in poker, but that's not stopping golf, for example. There's a massive audience for watching golf for some fucking reason. So it might be useful to compare well, poker's a mind sport, golf's a sport, and like see how like golf is executing and getting a wide audience. This seems like something someone should try to figure out, like one of these poker sites. Um, there are ways around that, and that's one of the good things about poker is that you can like it's got a lot of adaptability so that the structure can be messed with so that people can do things that are a lot more what's the word? Salient, meaning emotionally stimulating. And that's a lot of that happens to a fair degree. An example of which would be you can create structures where people are all in a lot or bluff a lot because various reasons. And this is a lot more interesting to watch than typical poker with no antes, that sort of thing. And like if someone's all in a lot, it's not necessarily like intellectually stimulating. It's not like necessarily interesting, but like people are like, okay, action, and there's lots of action, so they're maybe more inclined to watch it. Like a lot of people are drawn more to this idea of action versus like something that has lots of deep complexity or whatever. That may make sense. I don't know what kind of audience there is to chess, but that would be interesting to look at how the poker audience compares to chess.
In my podcast, I have a segment called Turbo Blitz. Like you don't have time for think, you just tell like what comes first to your mind, okay?
Okay.
Okay, you ready? Who surprised you the most on Game of Gold?
Who surprised me the most?
Yeah.
Fuck, I have to think about that. I'm an actual deep thinker. The technical answer is Maria, I guess. And she did win, to be fair. She girl powered it up. She beat the boys in the poker arcade, the fucking whatever it is, the feminist version of the the poker people. Oh, by the way, I have a proud brag. I opened up a feminist book once, and I opened it up to like some random page in the book, and it said, if you're one of the three guys reading this book that ever picked up this book and read it, I'm like, yes, I'm one of the three fucking weird guys that actually picked up a feminist book.
If your poker career ended today, what would you do tomorrow? Except going for massage.
Well, what I would have done in the past, I would have gotten a Bitcoin for sure. I would have been a Bitcoin person at some point. Yeah, it was never really. I was sold a little bit in Bitcoin for a little while. I thought it was the future. What was it that kind of drove me away? I like a lot of the crypto projects, a lot of tech projects, but yeah, for whatever reason, I've never really like really into tech. Never been a super tech guy, but I was always good at computer science. For money, I would have done computer science for sure, and I would have liked it quite a bit. For the passion, would have been something like content, etc.
What was your biggest break from poker?
Well, for the first 6, 9 months, I lost $3,000 and I won it up slowly. I lost $3,000 fast. I won it up slowly and I got to zero. And then I won a tournament for $5,200. And that was actually my biggest relative break because I had like $0 basically. No, I had $3,000. I won it back. Now I had $9,000. So I had what is it? No, excuse me. I had $8,200. I thought I had 9,000, but I had a, what is it? It's a 270% bankroll increase in a day. That's my biggest relative break. Um, yeah, I mean, also beating Tom in the challenge might be a really massive break because that's really hard to do. Just smashing him or coming back the day that I was losing 500K to him.
Okay. Have you ever stolen anything?
So I have one day thought to myself, can I steal a donut? Why don't I just try that? Like to steal a donut. I just thought to myself, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do bad things. And so I stole a donut from a place, like some convenience store in the UK. I just felt like terrible afterwards. I was like, fuck, like I got away with it and fucked up. And it really fucked with me. So never again. I could do it, but I just felt too terrible about it. As a matter of fact, I don't know if anyone cares about it, but I do want to call out basically everybody. Because actually, I have stolen before. Technically, the whole multi-accounting incident qualifies as stealing. They could have called me a thief if they wanted to. However, where I want to go with this is, in fact, as I thought about it, I was like, wait a second, yes, this is technically unethical, and this does equate to stealing money. And so I kind of swung the opposite direction and just like decided to quit all variations of stealing.
We're moving to the next question. What's your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is not being feared.
Okay. What's the dumbest thing you've ever bought?
The dumbest thing I ever bought? Well, one possible answer to that is the condo that I was trying to flip in Los Angeles. This is very stupid. Yeah, that definitely qualifies. Other than that, I don't know. I don't really see if it's a small investment, it's not going to be that stupid pretty much ever.
What's the weirdest place you've ever had sex?
Is this a question for me or is this a question for everybody?
No, that's a question for you. If you don't want to answer, that's fine.
I don't know. Let me see. I've had sex in some cool places, like in a jacuzzi that was hidden from everybody else. Not that many weird places, mostly like cool places, to be honest. I'm trying to think of weird ones.
Okay, what was the coolest then?
Like on a yacht in the Maldives, something like that. I did try out a plane. It was too much pressure, man. This is one of these like not really worth it situations. Um, in a limousine. I actually one really obvious place is in these like cars that drive around in Las Vegas. I've somehow not exactly done that, but there's like these fucking party buses that just drive around Las Vegas. It's so obvious to do this.
Okay, let's move on. What annoys you the most in people?
Actually, one thing that really annoys me a lot is people are just fake all the time and just do not think about how to actually solve problems. Yeah, this annoys me really a lot, is they do things that screw everyone over and don't help themselves and will not change they will not break convention in order to fix their problems. They're like more content with sitting around whining that things are the way they are and doing nothing about it. This annoys me the most. This is one of the most annoying things. Lying annoys me the most too. Line falls under a similar subject, similar category a lot of the time, actually.
Did it happen to you that you were thinking that a person is fake, but it turns out that he or she is real?
It happens all the time, actually, by the way. And there's many false negatives that occur for other people for sure, and the personality type that tends to think that they're right. Yeah, there's loads of false negatives in that direction, but in general, people judge way too quickly and are wrong all the fucking time. That's actually a massive problem. Uh, yeah, people are not fair to each other at all. And it's actually harder to be fair to them than it is in poker, I would say. There's way more caveats and weird things that happen. And another thing I've noticed is that when thinking about these situations as well, there's often reasons why society is fucked up, but just no one's ever really sat there and thought, okay, how do we fix the system so that it starts making sense? Or cared to be the person to change it.
Dan, it's a turbo blitz, like short answers, okay, for the rest of the questions.
Fine.
Okay.
It's hard. See, this is fine.
Okay, great.
It's a short answer.
Okay. Thank you.
Fine.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Here's my tonation.
Okay.
I use my tonal abilities. I know women are tonal creatures.
I have a lot of questions like where we can listen for your answers, but this is like turbo blitz. Should be like short, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. More friends or more money?
More very good friends.
Okay.
But not more superficial friends. I choose more money over more superficial friends. Be like, fuck these superficial friends, give me more money.
Okay. Great. Mind reading ability or plus 20 years to your life?
No, it must be removed 20 years from my life, actually. That's the clear answer.
What superpower would you like to have?
And what about the power of all the powers?
That's a great answer, actually.
I want to have the ultimate power.
Who taught you to speak with this voice? And how often you use it?
Whenever there's a need for a dramatic situation.
Okay.
I'm into being able to create some dramatic situations. I'm a dramatic guy.
Okay. I see. I noticed that. Okay, next one. Name 3 things which you will take with yourself to an island.
My phone.
Okay. 2 more.
So create smoke.
Okay.
Maybe a book. Maybe.
Okay, next one. If there was no money in the world, would you still be playing poker?
The answer I've decided on is yes. No. But we would just be playing for something else, like status or something.
On the Game of Gold, you were remembered that you were sleeping a lot, you know? People remember you for this even more than for you winning 2nd place. And tell me, was that like part of your game preparation? Was it made for the show, like show element, or were you just bored?
Well, I was trying to meditate, but I didn't think about the fact that I could fall asleep. It didn't occur to me that I could be of service to my team and I was actually being an asshole. This goes back to the theft situation, which is kind of like taking from your team. It's I mean that's the problem with the word theft in this case is you're not like explicitly crossing a boundary that's like required usually for theft. I don't know if that's actually built into the definition, but it's being an asshole basically by like just kind of falling asleep. No, is not part of the plan. Although I wish I was that diabolical for that one. I didn't think to myself, oh, you know what would be really funny is I just started sleeping on this show. But at the same time, I'm not enough of an asshole to like do that if I know that it's if I'm letting my team down.
I heard that you just came back from your trip to Tibet or Nepal, before the show, and you were just trying to catch up. Like you didn't sleep for 32 hours before that, and probably you were just tired.
I mean, it could have been that too. I mean, I could have had some weird jet lag. Sometimes the sleep schedule is strange.
Did you enjoy the show?
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Got some quality sleep.
Yeah, that was
And I
very
got second
nice.
place. Discovered my inner leprechaun. So
You actually stole the show with that sleeping. Like you didn't do anything and still were the superstar with that.
that's what they call spirituosa in Italian, which is the art of like not really trying.
Tell me what's your favorite travel destination? Because I saw you were traveling a lot. You were traveling with Eugene Katchelov recently, and it was in Asia, I think. Now you're in Asia again. Like,
Well, he discovered as well as we did. Well, I already knew this. I had already discovered this. We went to Lhasa, or excuse me, we went to Tibet, which is part of China now. The area of Tibet is a bit of a difficult sell for most, unless you're into sacred lakes and sacred mountains, that sort of thing. Buddhism and like challenges, like not sleeping, that's your thing. Being high on altitude, getting a fucking headache, not knowing if you're gonna sleep, that's your thing, then Tibet might be for you. Actually, the athletes use the area to train because it's the hardest place to train in the world. And but what we discovered as we went to a city that's like not a top city in China, Lhasa, this is pretty fucking legit. And then, we're all kind of realizing like, this is just a random city. It's actually really nice in China. I already realized this as I've been to Guangzhou and Chengdu, which I'm in now, that China cities are actually fucking nice. And it's one of my favorite travel destinations because it kind of just showed the power of this idea of like us all working together, which is what communism is actually about. I'm not a communist, by the way, but if the dictator of communism or socialism, whatever, or the people in power are good people, this is true also for a monarchy, then good things will happen. But if they're not, then bad things will happen. People wildly underestimate like how cool China is. It's like literally, it's basically as cool as Japan. And most people don't recognize that. That would be like one of my other pretty high on my list places is Tokyo. And it's loads of culture, and China actually has a super crazy history. A lot of cool things about it.
what's the place you'd like to go but never been?
New Zealand, I'm sure I'll eventually go. Singapore, these places, maybe Bali actually.
Do you like more like lazy or active? How to say it? Like
I'm
vacation.
active as fuck. I'm doing shit. I'm making shit happen.
Okay, okay, yeah. Yeah, that was a strange question because I already knew the answer. Okay, as a child, you were a little bit of gamer. Do you still enjoy playing video games? And what's your favorite game?
Well, instead of playing video games, I'm playing real life games.
Okay.
My favorite real life game, at least according to my actions, is try to level up, but getting fucked up sometimes. Going for it. What else? What else? I don't play video games too much. Kind of, what's the word? Sort of healthily adjusted. I try not to actually download video games because I know that I can get obsessed, and then this I've sort of seen that there's a pattern that I have to them, and I get kind of obsessive, and they draw away my attention for a bit more entertainment and not very the great use of my time.
Did you ever play Ukrainian game Stalker 2?
No.
No. Okay. I've heard that you're the world champion in Bubble Trouble online puzzle game. Is that true?
Yeah, and
How did it happen?
anyone needs any bubbles pops. It's kind of symbolic. Also, I pop lots of bubbles of bullshit. That's also kind of my thing. Any kinds of bubbles, I'm there. I'm popping them. How did that happen? Everyone actually know what happened? People in my school were all playing that game, and I decided to play it, but like see, I'm not a normal motherfucker. And I took it to the next level. And I was like, I'm gonna get really fucking good at this game. And I just got like outrageously good at it really fast. I got like super fucking good. And then people stopped playing it. But I was just like, yeah, I got to the point where I was getting incredible scores at, yeah, it's more or less the story. People in my school were playing it, and I just took it really seriously.
As all things, I think you are taking them seriously.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
No.
I'm pretty offended actually. You know, in America, like things are a little bit different than they are in Ukraine. You can get offended, you can offend people really easily. You can be really rude easily. Like that was rude to say that actually. And my feelings are hurt.
Really? I'm
So
sorry for
yeah,
that.
if you hurt like you would have like you yeah, you could have hurt someone's feelings with with your assumptions and your
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
logical guesses. Yeah.
I want to tell you the story about you because definitely you don't remember that, which happened in Seoul, like during the show. So we already met. There was like some episodes were already filmed, and I was sitting in the hotel lobby with the girls. There was Kaina, there was Jay. I'm not sure. The manager from GG girl, K. And there was Nikita probably. And you came to us, you were talking with the girls, and then you turned towards me and like ask, who are you? Like, really? We already met several times and you ask who I am? Like, really? It's me who should be offended, okay? Because like then I meet you in Barcelona last summer, and like we have a talk, and then I realized that probably you don't remember me, and I ask you like, do you know my name? And you say, yes, Anna, right? You sure? You sure that you remember who I am and where we met? Because every time when we meet, you don't remember me.
No, I remember you. I remember you
Okay.
100% in Barcelona.
Okay.
I'm not very good in general with names though, or with like I don't know how these people are doing this thing where they remember every person that they run into. I'm not at all good at that. There's loads of times when people just walk up to me and say, "Oh, you remember me?" And I'm sure some of them are lying too, by the way. I don't think you're one of those people, but I mean,
Okay.
it would have been funny if you were, but don't on the crazy side. I don't think you're the crazy type. You don't seem like the crazy type. Um, well, I'm not gonna let that.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
so
That's fine.
yeah, I meet up people all the time. I'm not meeting like loads of people in comparison to some people, and I just don't remember all of them. So I don't know how people are remembering everybody, but good job. What their secret is, I'd like to know.
I mean, you are very difficult to forget. So I'm just a girl. So of course it's not
Oh,
easy.
don't sell yourself short. Don't sell
That's
yourself.
fine. That's fine. Okay, I have a bit of an uncomfortable question. What happened to you in May 2019 when you were a victim of street robbers? You were attacked late at night. Can you tell something about this accident?
Yeah, actually, it changed me. Now I have some street smarts of sorts because if someone's like coming up on my periphery, this is what happened. I was like just walking late at night, then someone came on my periphery, hit me in the face, which is very shocking, and then they hit me again and said, "Give me your money." And like, okay, it wasn't like a huge amount of money, but yeah. But ever since then, I pay very close attention to my peripheries when I'm walking because I remember what happened. Like, okay, I don't want people to like, or I pay attention to people following me and all that kind of stuff. So, a bit sneaky about these sorts of things.
So you think that attackers knew you, right? That
No,
it
I don't
was
think
you?
so.
No, you
I
don't
don't
think
think
so?
so. Probably not.
Do you think that like poker player is like a safe profession overall?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking safe, I would say.
I mean, you are walking here and there with huge amount of money, like
No, I don't carry cash everywhere. I almost never have cash on me. I don't like carrying cash.
Let's speak that can be useful for some of my followers. Let's speak about bad days. It happened to you in 2015. You posted that you lost huge amount of money, around like 5 million in Manila, in casino in Manila. How did you feel at that moment?
Pretty bad because they thought maybe I wasn't winning in the game, but I probably was, to be fair. It wasn't all my money, but it was a series of frustrating defeats in this particular game. And it's kind of hard to keep getting a seed because you have to win, or at least they have to think that you're winning. And I just like lost no matter what I did. So it's quite frustrating. The good news was the VIPs thought it was entertaining. One was a VIP and he didn't know it, and one was like a VIP. And they thought it was entertaining to watch me get frustrated. So that's the good news.
I have a question. When you are playing at high stakes, do you feel the pressure of huge money, or for you it's just fine? Can you
I
please
feel the
stop
pressure.
yawning?
I'm actually really good at hiding the pressure, or at least it comes out in other ways, or at least not letting it affect my actual decisions. But yeah, I'm actually really good at that. That's like one of my strengths is handling loads of pressure.
Can you like help? How should one approach like losses in poker?
One thing that actually helped was to not be as attached to money. That was a big thing in my shift where my success in poker, I stopped caring so much about my personal success. I mean, I also like didn't have as much personal success because I stopped caring about it. At least in the sense of making money. I wasn't like as driven to like making every little dollar, but I realized also that it wasn't really gonna like change my life to be like a little bit richer or do anything. The realization was that it wasn't going to add much value to be a little bit richer. So I started focusing my effort and my subconsciously caring about other things more. So this was the biggest thing that helped me to be able to not feel so much pressure with losing. It's a few things. Is somehow shifting is a bit of a value system shift, which is a hard thing to do for most people. They have to really like look inside and figure out why they're doing things. Another thing is a bit of being at peace in the chaos, which is partly also a bit of a philosophical insight too. But essentially, at some point in time, I realized first philosophically that all these situations of betting and checking, etc., are not really that different. And so that everything's not really that different. It's actually a principle of yoga where you just learn to be in comfortable and difficult situations. But of course, it goes far deeper than poker. But these situations of facing a bet or whatever, etc., are not really, or betting are not really like, it's kind of like a deeper realization of the feeling that everything's going to be okay, which is comes a bit from experience. Kind of a big part is just keep going, just keep doing it, and also just keep like affirming. You can affirm a bit with logic to anchor yourself to this position. Yeah, it doesn't really change your life if you win or lose. That helps to some extent, but a big part is just like kind of going through it and putting yourself in those situations more and more. That probably helps the most. Meditation, etc., should be able to help, and you probably could meditate on these kinds of issues, and it might have a fair bit of an effect. Although I personally haven't really used that method, but I understand that that would work pretty well. I think meditation would help a lot, or the breathing exercises should help a lot because basically what they do is calm your nervous system, which is what you're looking for. So mine happens to really be calm all the time. It's rare that I get really anxious over things.
Okay, thank you so much for coming, and I enjoyed your answers, and I think that this will be really useful for my followers. Thank you so much, Dan.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for having me on your podcast, and best of luck with it.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave the comments. Good luck, guys, and see you in the next episodes.